Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have to go and actually give some props over here to Xbox. Now, if you guys have been watching our channel, we've had a lot of really bad negative news when it comes to the Xbox Series X, S, and also on like the PC version, the Game Pass side. And there's been a lot of just negative things going on, a lot of negative press, a lot of negative people kind of critiquing up Xbox a lot. But this one, we actually finally have some good news. And I'm a channel where I'd rather show the good news, but sometimes, in the day-to-day life, if we're making as many videos as we are, which we should probably tone down that a little bit, just saying. Soon, probably the next year, we'll have a little bit more a better format. But when it comes to all this stuff is that we've actually been seeing some kind of good news when it comes to Xbox. We have brand new huge sales coming out. We have brand new good news coming out for the next upcoming year for Game Pass, and just a lot of other various things too as well with holiday deals and stuff like that. So let's go talk about this brand new news. Let's go talk about this good news, and let's finally go put a nice little smile on our faces because Xbox doesn't deserve all the hate it's been getting. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or $500 cash giveaway ending very soon. Twitter and Twitch stream down below, and of course the Target Amazon links. So this is kind of going in regards now to the sales of the console. So very first and foremost, we have seen Xbox now hit kind of a huge big milestone. Now, PlayStation as of right now is quite a bit ahead still, same with the Switch, but this is why we care about competition, because right now, Xbox did go hit a brand new huge milestone of passing over 20 million sales now, accordingly to most of these industry analysts and kind of people who've been tracking these numbers and statements and like everything else in between. So as of now, over 2 years on the market, into year 3, Xbox has now passed over the 20 million sale number. Now, it was kind of hovering around the 18 million as of our last guesstimates and numbers, and so far it does seem like Game Pass has been mostly consistent over 20 mil, or at least around that range, as of recently too. So it kind of goes to show that the PlayStation market is decent, but maybe not as big as it is on the Xbox side, because Xbox does have PC Game Pass. So, very intriguing to see on this one. But Microsoft rarely chooses to share information about hardware sales these days. But now, according to the latest estimates from the folks over at VG Charts, which we might as well go highlight too as well, it looks like the sales of the Xbox Series X and S might have actually passed the 20 million mark. The outlet is reporting, we'll show you guys in a second, that the two consoles have globally sold an estimated now 20.26 million units combined so far, and the PlayStation 5 is kind of rounding up over here to around 30 million, so 28.26, so around 8 million more, and then the Switch is obviously at 120 million, which is ridiculous. So if you kind of go over here to the video game charts with their PS5 sales, we can talk about this a little bit more in depth, but as you guys can probably go and see, the Nintendo Switch was the best-selling console with 900,000 units sold for the week ending in December 3rd, 2022. According to the VG Charts estimates, the Switch has now sold an estimated 118 million units, which is still ridiculous. PlayStation 5 was around 700,000 units to bring its lifetime sales to 28 million units sold, and the Xbox Series X and S sold around 600,000 units, which is just a little teensy tiny bit smaller than all the other various units themselves, but it's still doing good. And this is why we need that little Xbox bump, because PlayStation's doing great, the Nintendo Switch is doing great, but Xbox has had a really bad cycle with no new games and a lot of harassment, everything in between. So it's nice to see something good breaking that 20 million barrier finally. So the PS5 sales compared to the same week with the PS4 in 2015 are slightly though down, and they're not hitting the same exact pace as the PS4, while the Xbox Series X and S compared to the same week of the Xbox One are now up nearly 97,000 units. So while they did not sell the same amount, ratio-wise, even though PlayStation 5 is down a little bit in comparison and the Xbox is up in comparison, they both did pretty good. These numbers are looking pretty solid. So the PS4 sold 800,000 units during that same holiday week in 2015, and the Xbox One were around 500,000. So if you kind of go and compare all these same numbers, though, they are hitting brand new huge sales numbers and overall doing good, and the whole gaming industry is doing great. But sometimes, there's just bigger hype or bigger releases or whatever it might be, more games in stores, etc., etc. So the PS4 sold an estimated 6,000 units, and the Xbox around 100. I don't know who's still buying that, but they're still around. So PlayStation 5 sales compared to the same week a year ago are up by 400,000. Insane, while the Xbox Series X and S sales are up by 200,000, 63%. Not as insane, but still huge, and Nintendo Switch are actually down. Funny enough, and it kind of seems like the Switch is kind of somewhat losing out finally on these gaming pushes. The PlayStation 4 is also down 80%, which is fine, and same thing with the Xbox One, down 98%, which who cares? We're now pushing towards next gen. Looking at sales week on week, the Nintendo Switch sales are actually down nearly 400,000 units. PlayStation 5 sales are down by nearly 356,000 units, and the Xbox are actually down over 500,000. But don't forget, we also had comparisons too with like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and a lot of these other various weeks. So that's like not necessarily out of the norm. 2022 year to date, the Nintendo Switch has sold an estimated 16 million units. The PlayStation 5 has sold an estimated 11 million units. The Xbox Series X and S has sold around 9 million units. But once again, this is still good. Xbox has been a really rough time. I just want to give them a little extra love because I do feel bad because all these numbers have been, I don't know. Like, I just feel like Xbox is getting like kind of dogged down a little bit too much recently. Granted, they've had some pretty various reasons why with them trying to increase Game Pass prices, Game Pass with ads, ad integration, increasing normal game prices to $70. It's somewhat no new games for the holiday. Like, it's warranted, but I do kind of feel bad. So I just want to look through all these global numbers over here before we get into other topics, because it's always kind of cool to see. Everything's basically doing good. Like, gaming as a whole still kind of flip-flopping. The semiconductor shortages are still kind of somewhat there. Production issues, shipping issues, and stuff are still there, but it is nice to go and see. So as you guys can see over here, the Switch is still around 118 million is insane. 28 million on the PlayStation, 20 million on Xbox, 117 million on the PS4, and then the Xbox One at around 51 million. These are mostly guesstimate numbers based on what they've had so far. And you guys can also look through the other regions where the United States had the PlayStation 5 as the biggest selling console, Xbox right behind it, and still it's doing good. Like, you guys look at those numbers, I know I'm kind of bumping up the Xbox here a little bit, but they're only 26,000 behind. Like, that is so close. You gotta give them some love. Like, they're doing all right. Same with, the PlayStation's doing great, but it's been doing great for a while. Same with the Switch. I'm just happy to see the Switch at number 3. And then Europe as well had the Switch as number 1. PS5 and Xbox still neck and neck. And then same thing too with the Xbox and PS5, kind of just smalling over here from Oceanic vibes too as well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts because it's always cool to see. I mean, everything's kind of going around pretty good. Now, for some other little things to kind of go note too as well is that High on Life. Actually, you guys, I've had a chance to go and finally beat this game up on my Twitch stream as of this week. Apparently, it's been one of the biggest third-party launches games ever over here. It was a good game. I'd probably give it like a nice 8 out of 10. The gameplay was a little bit boring, but the dialogue made up for it, and the story is unique, and the graphics were unique, so it made it kind of cool. But this basically was one of the biggest Xbox Game Pass launches in 2022 so far, and the biggest single-player game launch on Game Pass. Funny enough, of all time. So while we have some good Xbox kind of also sales going on, same thing to do with this when it comes to High on Life doing fantastic. So basically they confirmed that these stats were measured in terms of engagement based on the numbers of hours played in the first 5 days of release. And like I said, the game was good. It was made by the same people who made Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland as well, and he also is in the, the voice of Kenny the Gun. So it's our first time launching a game with Game Pass, said Mike Friedley, studio director and COO of Squanch Games. We've been blown away by the response from the players who have made us the most popular game on Game Pass right now. Squanch Games was first created, it was to make the games we wanted to play, and Game Pass is helping us reach the players that want to play those games too. So I think this game was fantastic, and I do think Xbox is doing pretty good too as well. Now, it kind of also sets the pace too that we need different studios besides the same Sony studios and same generic like Square Enix studios. And I like the fact that people are taking risks. They're focusing more on different genres, such as more on the humor side and dialogue heavy side. And the gameplay isn't bad, but it was just a lot of fun, goofy moments, and it was a good experience overall. So I got to give this a good thumbs up in my mind because I just enjoyed my experience and enjoyed my time with it. So big thumbs up. If you guys have Game Pass on PC or Xbox, I do recommend it quite a bit. Shame it's not on PlayStation 5 though. As well, if you guys want to, there actually is also official Xbox stats too, and they also did the same thing I think for PlayStation as well, or if you guys want to go and check online, they have things you guys can basically go and see like the achievements and how much time you spent on the games and all that. If you guys ever want me to show that up on a separate video, let me know in the comment section down below. But I'd actually love to have a chance to go and do that. But basically includes things like your achievements earned, total gamer score, games played, hours played, and all that. And like I said, there's also a similar thing that popped up over here for PlayStation 2 as well. It's also up on the Microsoft side. So you guys can kind of see the highlights and see what you guys played the most. I barely played anything on Xbox besides Game Pass games. Probably would be maybe a Forza, maybe if anything. And then same with PlayStation, honestly, was probably God of War and all the other exclusives. Those are probably the biggest ones for me this year. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on all the sales numbers, because these sales numbers came in way better than expected on all 3 consoles, and pretty good holiday run. As well as make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, or $500 giveaway. Twitter and Twitch stream down below for bonus entries. We have the Target link, Amazon links, and all of that, and I appreciate y'all so much for watching here in the first place.